Hi, I'm Michael Marks, the director and writer of Disappearance of Deliverance, which is a motion picture. It's a feature-length motion picture. So I am here today because I want to answer some questions. I wrote my own questions. This is a self-interview, and I'm doing it because I asked my actors to do the same thing, and I'm so blessed to have such a talented cast, and I asked 5 questions of them, in which they answered, and and I said I'd do the same for myself then, and so I wrote the questions myself, and why not? Since that's what I do, I'm a writer, so why not write your own questions, right? Okay, so I'm going to read the question. I'm going to read the question he wrote, which is me. I'm going to read the question and then I'm going to respond. All right. So, the first question that I had for myself was, as the director and writer of Disappearance of Deliverance, why that title? And what is the story about? Okay, so first of all, I came up with the story. Knew that I wanted to write a suspense slash thriller. I call it Silence of the Lambs meets Taken. That's one of the kind of catch lines that I have. But anyway, the story is about a man that's a man on a mission, and he's in a desperate search for his missing wife and kids. And so, after I came to that, I usually come to the story itself and then the title after that, which makes sense to me. So, um, with that being said, I said, okay, I know what the story is about. So, from that, I said, well, disappearance. You have his kids who ultimately disappear or go away, and then you have him wanting to on a mission. The protagonist, Aspen, is a protagonist who sets out to attempt to free them. So, and I looked these words up. Disappearance. So you have disappearance on one side, which means going missing or being away or going missing, okay? And then you have deliverance on the other side. That means literally, deliverance means the act of being set free. So you have disappearance, and then you on one side, then you have deliverance, and then you have, if we want to go a little deeper, you have the protagonist or the star in the middle of disappearance of deliverance. You have disappearance on this side, deliverance, and so you have the star in the middle of that. And he's caught in the middle too, if you really want to, like I said, take it on a deeper level. Okay, so I hope so. That's the question number one, and so number two is why Stacey Alfonso as your producer? What attributes do you feel she possesses? Essentially, why did you decide to create a partnership with her? Okay, so Stacey Alfonso, this will be our first time working together, and I'm very excited about our partnership. And I'll tell you, from the first time I met her on LinkedIn, I was excited because she's a person that does what she says, and just she just follows up. She just honest, just very honest, and and a no BS type. Is like from the very start, we said we would talk on the phone. We set a date, talked on the phone. We set a date to meet. We met, and I appreciate that quality right away. You know what I mean? You get enough running around and BS with different people in this, especially in this entertainment business. So that's what I liked about Stacy, and she's very enthusiastic about my story, and let it be known. She told me right away, and that's very good. You have and I know I'm very passionate about my work, and to find somebody else that is also passionate about it, that's a beautiful thing. And and then she also brings the marketing. She has a background in marketing and public relations, and she brings that to the table, and essentially that's what movie making is about. I mean, you have to get the word out, and I envision this thing going worldwide, hitting Netflix and doing some really good things. I'm very excited about it, but I'm also excited about my partnership with Stacy. So there you have it. So question number 3: out of all of the different industries that one can choose to obtain work, why the movie industry? Studies show that it is absolutely one of, if not the hardest fields to break into. So, well, that's easy to me. It's just from the very start, I knew I wanted to be a storyteller. I wouldn't say from the very start, but at least high school. Um, I picked up the Panasonic video camera. I remember it was big, long. They were big cameras, but my mom bought one, and I just found it intriguing to pick up a camera and then put it in front of somebody's face or a group of people's faces, and then go back and play the footage, and just the reaction that they got, just the reaction that I got from watching what I had just taped and stuff. And so that was very fulfilling. I don't know, it was just something about it just drew me to it. And then my sister is in acting. She was in acting anyway, but she used to do plays, and I used to tape her plays with this Panasonic camera, and also I would get paid for weddings and different things like that. Some of her friends would come over. They saw me taping her. What am I saying? Taping her plays, and they would say, "Hey, could you tape my play, or could you tape a wedding and stuff like that?" And so I said, "Yeah, I do." And I started getting paid for that. So I've had an entrepreneurship mind for some time. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and so I guess it's in my blood to some degree. So that's that about that answer. So how do you the next answer is, how do ideas come to you? Well, ideas come to me in different ways. Through prayer. I'm a praying man, and I'm very spiritual, and I believe in asking God. God is over the universe. I believe in asking God and the universe for what I want, and asking Him or that essence to guide me in my journey and my search to find myself, to go deeper, and just to create the best art, create the best product that I can, and move people all around the world. That's what I want to do through my storytelling. I think that's my purpose, is to make stories that inspire and uplift people all around the world. And so that's my mission, and that's what I'm going to do. So number 5, the entertainment game is filled with obstacles. How do you deal with adversity and setbacks? Well, we all have our fair share of adversity and setbacks. Well, I deal with, again, adversity and setbacks, one, through prayer, because, again, things are a lot bigger than myself, and if I know I don't have to take on a problem by myself, why should I? It's nice to have friends and family you can talk to and go to, but my first source is the Creator. You know what I mean? Because the Creator is, we are a creation of the Creator, and so, and that's a very powerful source. And so that's my approach. That's one of my approaches, and I get ideas and dreams. I get them through meditation, through exercise. I can be out exercising, doing all kinds of things, and ideas just come to me in the middle of the night. Like I said, sometimes just a few days ago, something was in my head. And I popped up at 4:30 in the morning. And I got to writing. So I believe in capturing the ideas when they're fresh in your head, because they may go away. So write them down. I couldn't write them down in my sleep, so I popped up out of my bed and jumped in front of the computer. So that's how that went. Okay, so we got 2 more questions here. Were your parents supportive of your dreams of becoming a director, writer, producer in the movie business? My parents were absolutely supportive, and I was absolutely blessed to have supportive parents, and I'm so grateful for my mom, excuse me, and my dad. They always and thing about irony about it sort of is my father was a business owner. He passed away some years ago, but my mother's still living, and my father owned a business and mechanic shop. He was never one of those dads who was like, "Oh boy, you gotta take over the business and you know what I mean, bump your dreams. You can go crap on your dreams or whatever. I want you to take over this mechanic shop." He was never that way. He didn't even care if we didn't want to fix a car. My brother and I had no interest in fixing cars or anything, and he was totally okay with it. And I love him for it, loved him for it, and still love him, and thought because of that. And my mother was just one of my biggest, is one of my biggest supporting forces, and she's always she's always had some kind of pushback. Even when we were growing up, why are you going to let your kids? All of us, I have there are three of us. My brother's in music. He was in music. My sister in acting, and me in, the directing side of things, directing, writing, and producing side. And some people would come to my mom and like, why are you letting them pursue those careers in the arts? How are they going to make money? There's no guarantee that they're going to make money. And my mom would say, well, there's no guarantee about anything, So I just want my kids to be happy and do what they choose to do, and do what they want to do. And I've decided to raise my kids the same way. And I talk to them about dreams, you know what I mean? So I understand you have to work, you have to pay bills. And if there's a way that you can do that while still pursuing your dreams, that's what I recommend to anybody. And because dreams are real, they do come true, and you live this life, and God gives us different talents and gifts, and so why not use them? And so I'm just using my talents and my gifts that were bestowed on me from the great Creator. So that's my take on that. Okay, the last question. If you were held up by kidnappers in a log cabin, what would you do to escape? Well, you've heard me say it again. I'm going to say it one more time, though. Prayer. Prayer would be one thing that I would do. Then I watch enough ID channel, enough shows on ID to have a few other ideas. Maybe grab something, knock them upside the head. I don't know, but prayer would be the one thing. And I also wanted to mention one other thing before I get out of here. I draw inspiration from books. I just thought about it. I really do. Um, so good reading is one of the best ways to get ideas, and just living life, traveling. Those are other things that I do. Um, I remember reading Langston Hughes' biography years ago, The Big C, the title of it, and he was saying that traveling inspired his writing, and it does with me. I've traveled too, and it does the same thing. And good writing is great. One of my favorite authors is Langston's one of them, and Zora Neale Hurston. I just love her writing. I'm just in love with her writing, and she's just brilliant, just beyond brilliant to me. And I've read every book by Zora Neale Hurston, and here's one of them. I wanted to Dust Tracks on a Road. This is her life, basically her autobiography. And here's a picture if you want to see Zora Neale Hurston. So a lot of great books from that was the Harlem Renaissance era, the early 1920s. So I love books from that era, and that and many other books from various eras up to this present day inspire me. The one that I'm reading now, well, I'm about to start back reading, is Michelle Obama's Becoming. That book. The last book I read was Phil Jackson's 11 Rings, Phil Jackson. So you get so much out of reading. So my last closing remark is dream big. Dream big. That's it, everybody. Thank you.